for this week. And as the deadline approaches for the next installment of Greece's loan repayment, Greek politicians again indicated that they may be forced, if the EU doesn't budge, to turn to other sources such as China or Russia. But the Greeks swore they would never resort to taking money from the source known as the Greek taxpayers, who are supposed to actually pay their taxes. European Union officials stressed the need for further reform in Greece, saying that the Greek political system is corrupt and that there is a culture of avoiding paying taxes. Meanwhile, when some pointed out that the current EU Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker wrote Luxembourg's rules that allow Apple, Starbucks, and Fiat to pay little or no taxes, Juncker replied, "No, that's totally different. The difference is that Alex Tsipras is fairly new in his position, so in theory, it should take him a little while to become as corrupt in tax avoidance as, say, a lifelong politician."
30-year experience in corruption. They have everything, systematized. They know exactly how to do it. And these are new guys. Even if they decide to do corruption, it will take them some years. So these are good years for Greece,
Nice. In fact, if the Eurozone wants Tsipras to make good on his financial commitments, then maybe, as a gesture of good faith, the EU could could make some of the multinationals honor their tax commitments. Or else, just to be fair, Apple, Fiat, and Starbucks might have to consider relocating to Greece, where the taxes will be really low. In response to such a potential Greek threat, the Netherlands and Ireland said we would never stoop so low. And then they stooped even lower with their corporate tax rates, again for a bigger double Irish and another Dutch sandwich. Other non-Eurozone countries insisted that Greece should continue on the path of austerity. The United Kingdom said that their economy had improved after austerity, specifically after ending their austerity. The UK then celebrated by opening up tax-free HSBC bank accounts in Switzerland for their largest clients. Some of HSBC's largest clients are indeed some of Greece's biggest oligarchs, causing Alex Tsipras to ask, when might Britain help these tax dodgers pay their Greek taxes? Britain responded, the same day that we returned the Elgin marbles from the British Museum to the Parthenon. And as our guest is in tech news, let's turn to tech news as Vodafone attempts to acquire cable provider Liberty Global. EU regulators have warned that some mergers may be too ambitious. If they let that merger go through, then there's nothing to stop, say, a Czech automotive company from taking over Vodafone, the British telecom provider, and calling it Skoda Phone. And now, it's time for a little piece that I call American Travelogue. Yes, I was in the US for business for 2 whole days, and the culture shock was intense. To be fair, it was my fault. I didn't have my US passport, and I had to fly on my Dutch passport, thereby traveling to the United States for the first time as a foreign citizen. I had to wait in the separate line. I had to do the put your finger on the scanner, look into the camera, do not blink, do not smile, have a nice day. I had to fill in an ESTA form to declare that I was not planning any acts of terror, nor any acts of espionage, nor planning to release any endangered snails into any areas near livestock. My taxi driver was a lovely man who explained to me how Obama is ruining this country by allowing so many Muslims to live here. Let them choose liberty or get the F out, he said. And he concluded, I'll never forget, I just want us to go to war with the world. I didn't give him a tip. We arrived at the Philadelphia Liberty Casino Resort, where my hotel room had a perfectly good balcony with a sliding glass door that was now sealed for my security and protection. In other words, liberty from freedom. There was also no freedom from classic rock or televised sports anywhere in the building, so I went for a walk in a land with no sidewalks. I had to walk in the median of a highway, under the bridge of another highway, and then I was hiking in the Valley Forge National Park, wondering if the Continental Army of George Washington had only waited a couple centuries. They could have had the freedom to walk across the road and stay at the casino resort. in which case they may have chosen to stay in the relative freedom of the hunger winter. I arrived at the airport again to return home, and all the TV screens greeted me with images of a plane crash in Taiwan. It was CNN's way of saying, have a nice flight back to wherever you came from. And the taxi driver on the whole way back didn't say a word. I tipped him $10.